Right, good morning. Again, thank you very, very much. Before starting, I would like to thank the Honourable Minister for the lovely reception he hosted yesterday. It was very kind, appreciated, and I had some very wonderful comments, both with regards to the reception itself, the venue, and the harbour cruise. So thank you very much, and thank you very much for the support you have been giving this event throughout. So, Honourable Minister, Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second edition of the Malta Maritime Summit. The success of the first edition has spurred us on to consolidate our platform of dialogue between all stakeholders. We are determined to galvanize an ongoing dialogue over the next 4 days and beyond, because we firmly believe in being the voice of the industry. Once again, we meet on a tiny but strategic island which rightly boasts of being the hub of the Mediterranean for centuries. Today, Malta is also boldly positioning itself as a hub with a global outreach as it trailblazes, I'm not wearing my specs, trailblazes the regulatory framework for a blockchain ecosystem, a subject that is inevitably high on this year's agenda. Just like 2 years ago, the summit owes a great deal to the many distinct experts in their respective authorities, associations and organizations who have accepted to actively participate in the summit. I thank all of them for being here and must reiterate what a privilege it is to have them on board. Heartfelt thanks goes to the many sponsors. They should be around all over. Thank you very much, because without the sponsors, there's no way this event could take place, and again, particularly the support of the Government of Malta, Transport Malta, and the various ministries. There we have the sponsors. And the team that have made this event a reality. The summit brings us together as a family that has strong views on the industry, which means so much to us. We all know that we are living in a fluid geopolitical climate. Hearing a rallying call to embrace eco-friendly measures, and moreover facing a rapidly changing digital world in which IA, blockchain and cryptocurrencies are rewriting the world as we know it. All sectors and aspects of the maritime industry are undergoing revolutionary change, and change is happening at dizzying speed. These are both thrilling and testing times, giving us the perfect opportunity to make our voices heard. Like any strongly bodied family, we are going to listen to each other, discover, discuss, debate, and dispute. William Blake, a British poet who lived during the French Revolution, said that without contraries, there is no progression. His words of wisdom have been proven time and time again. Finally, we plan to increase the overall effectiveness of the organization to ensure we use our resources as effectively as possible through the implementation of best working practices with the aim of strengthening the bonds that already exist between us. Ladies and gentlemen, we seek to ensure the Malta Maritime Summit attendees have everything they need to know about the summit in the palm of their hands. I repeat, the MMS mobile app, EventMobi, provides access to the full agenda, speakers, sessions, sponsors, live polls and more, while providing the opportunity to network and engage with one another. I would like to thank you very much again, and I would now like to invite the Minister to give us his keynote address. Thank you very much.
Excellencies, colleagues, distinguished guests, good morning. I stand here today as Minister responsible for the maritime industry, an industry which I deem of great importance, not only for our country, but of course globally. It is therefore with pleasure that I open the 2018 Malta Maritime Summit and welcome you all to this important forum. I am confident that this summit will give the opportunity to us all to engage in meaningful and constructive discussions, for the common good of the maritime industry. As an island state, Malta's destiny has been closely linked to the sea that surrounds us. Thanks to our strategic geographic position, as well as our natural harbors and established ports, Malta has steadily demonstrated its resilience to strengthen our maritime economic activities and to thrive as a maritime nation. Furthermore, Malta offers a well-developed economic structure, boasting an advanced legal framework, a highly skilled workforce, and well-connected business climate. Malta's can-do approach, coupled with simple, transparent legislation and procedures, and access to key decision-makers, is also the key to its success in the maritime scenario. The year 2018 was another bumper year for Malta. Cruise passengers staying overnight have almost doubled. Malta's shipping registry continues to maintain its pole position in the EU and has secured the 6th ranking globally. This year has been another record year for our registry too. More than 9,000 ships with a combined gross tonnage of 77 million are flying the Maltese flag. Growth has also been registered in the superyacht industry. Since January 2013, a 97% increase in the new registrations under the Maltese flag have been recorded. Malta offers regulatory certainty both through the European Commission-approved tonnage tax scheme and the highest regulatory standards, as well as to our workforce and our entrepreneurs who achieve these stellar results. We all share a common belief. Shipping is the backbone of international trade and the global economy. We know that 80% of the world cargo is carried by sea, making shipping and related services a huge contributor to the EU and global economy. The bloc's blue economy represents a gross value added of over 500 billion euro per year. It already provides approximately 5.4 million jobs, and figures continue to grow. The cruise industry alone contributed to a record 47.86 billion euro to the EU economy in 2017. And this is why we need a high-quality shipping sector that can compete around the world, a sector where service quality, a high level of safety and environmental protection outweigh protectionism and low-cost substandard services. As industry and regulators, we need to demonstrate that it is together that we can deal best with environmental challenges. In this context, Malta very much values the concrete contributions and constructive engagement of all stakeholders to work together on common and competitive solutions to environmental challenges. As an aviation, unmanned operation of ships is on the horizon. Experts foresee deployment of autonomous vessels, for example, to ferry containers along known routes of limited distance in the near future. While I believe that it is unlikely that captains and ship's engineers will become obsolete, given the complexities and many variables involved in operating a large ocean-going ship, electronic systems can carry out or assist with an increased number of tasks. Crews are expected to continue to shrink in size but improve in competence. It is indeed for this reason that we need to ensure that the industry is supplied with the right competent crew trained to address the future developments of the industry. We need to explore new ways of carrying our training and education to ensure that future crews can meet the sector's needs. Last May, I announced that the Malta Maritime pilots would be investing €3 million in a new maritime training facility in Halfar, Accredited courses for cruise ships, super yachts, merchant shipping, as well as the shore-based side of the industry will be on offer. And this is an important achievement. We also need to look into ways to attract more women to the sector. And yesterday was a historic day for our country, where we had the possibility to recognize and celebrate the first 5 Maltese female mariner masters. We will continue working to ensure that female participation in the maritime sector continues to grow. We must continue to invest in our people. The Malta Maritime Summit comes only a few days after the international maritime community on 27 September celebrated the World Maritime Day, with this year's theme being IMO 70, our heritage, better shipping for a better future. On this occasion, Malta Maritime reaffirms its support to IMO as the main catalyst for successful building maritime partnerships that are the basis to ensure an effective access to a well-functioning and reliable maritime transport system that is vital for a country like Malta, being a sea-logged state. We reiterate our uninterrupted support for the work of IMO and the endeavours it continues making to highlight the importance of maritime development across all sectors, both from a policy and a practical perspective. Malta has invested a lot in its maritime industry and believes strongly in the need to ensure the participation of multi-stakeholders. This was indeed evidenced during Malta's presidency of the European Council in the first half of 2017, when we managed to bring all the stakeholders around one table that culminated in the adoption of the Valletta Declaration, whereby we agreed that the priorities for the EU's maritime transport policy until 2020. The declaration dealt with competitiveness, decarbonisation and digitalisation to ensure global connectivity and efficient internal market and a world-class maritime cluster. We also continued working with all stakeholders and European peers to achieve concrete results on the strategy enshrined in the Valletta Declaration. This resulted in the adoption of the revised Maritime Single Window Directive that will further facilitate trade between member states. In the area of environment protection, big progress has been made with the adoption of the initial IMO strategy on reduction of greenhouse gases emissions from ships. The adoption of this strategy is considered to be a landmark step, since the shipping industry is now the first global sector with concrete figures for the reduction of greenhouse gases emissions. This makes the shipping as the first international transport industry to be working on these targets. We look forward to engage in the discussions with all the stakeholders to agree on the concrete measures to be adopted and to be implemented in the said strategy. Since I am touching upon environmental issues, it would be amiss if reference is not made to the entry into force of the sulfur cap on bunker fuel in January 2020. We are very sensitive and share to the concerns being aired by the industry. That said, we remain committed to the established deadline by IMO of 2020, and we look forward to discussions to find solutions that address the safety concerns that exist. Dear colleagues, what is the way forward? We need to continue developing wisely a maritime policy and regulations that will stimulate growth and long-term sustainability. It is no secret that the shipping industry is at a crossroad, with major economic and environmental challenges ahead. I am a firm believer that an integral element to overcome these challenges in these difficult times is dialogue. Today's event is recognition that maritime issues cannot be conducted in a secular manner, but rather we need a holistic approach. This government is committed to consolidate and expand further, together with the private sector, in order to promote this very same sector that surely will contribute towards developing Malta into an excellent leading maritime centre in the Mediterranean. This government is determined to actively promote and support the maritime industry. We appeal for vision and the courage to change and invest. That has always served this country best. I thank you all for your continued confidence and support to Transport Malta in our collective efforts to maintain our standards. It would be amiss if I do not congratulate the organisers for this event in bringing together this cross-section of our economy together with other European and international players. So grab this opportunity this week, take a step back, take a look at the wider perspective, and let's reach together higher and brighter horizons. Thank you, and I wish you a pleasant continuation.